Well, good evening and welcome to Justin's Joint, where we're going to keep the cringe at a full 13 out of 10. Stay tuned for more. Alright, so here we are down in the awesome Justin's Joint with all these awesome things and an awesome pipe with some awesome tobacco and an awesome cup of coffee. I'm in the midst of another video right now, but it's taking forever because this thing that I'm printing, 3D printing, is kind of massive. And it kind of is taking forever, so I just wanted to put a video up on the channel of really nothing, per se. Just a guy and his pipe hanging out, chilling with his bros. So the tobacco that I have in here right now is Stonehenge Flake. And I believe that's Cornell and Deal. I don't remember off the top of my head, and the jar is over there. So, Stonehenge Flake. Now, I've mentioned this before because I've really only smoked a couple of bowls of this. The very, very, very first time... stand by. My pipe tool fell on the floor. Okay, the very first time I smoked this, I got a very Lakeland-esque vibe, and I wasn't quite certain until now that that was actually really the case. But I can tell you right now, I smoked some Innerdale last night, and you know, that's about as Lakeland as it gets, and I am getting definite Lakeland vibes. I didn't smoke it in this, so it's not ghosted from this. This pipe is never seen Lakeland. I've only ever smoked that Innerdale in a cob. So it's not that. Yeah, it's got a definite Lakeland vibe going on here. I don't know what they put in this, but it's very similar. Right? It's not like it's bad, and it's not like it's super good. That's just what it is, you know. I mean, it gets the Justin's Joint seal of approval. That's all I can say about it, but so this particular bowl, I basically just folded and put it in the, I just folded the flakes and put them in there. So I kind of was half expecting to have a little bit of a tough time smoking this, but honestly, aside from it maybe needing to dry just a little bit before I did that, it's not doing too bad. I mean, the draw is not too tight, as it usually gets when I try to just fold flakes and put them in there. Because you know what you can do sometimes is you tear it in half, and then you take the one half and then you stack it together, and then you kind of roll it up and put it in there, and then, you know, usually you have to press down on it just a little bit to get it to kind of get down below the rim of the bowl. And by the time you get all that done, it's too tight. It's packed too tight, and then you can't smoke it. And then you're like having to try way too hard, and when you have to try way too hard, it just it just kills the vibe, you know? It kills it. So, I was actually a little bit worried about that here, but so far so good. So far so good. I'm just sitting down here waiting for this print to go, and I'll be waiting forever because this is a 22-hour print. You heard me correct, folks. 22 hours. I had hoped to be putting a video up showing the finished product by now. However, the last print failed. We get to do it again. But I guess, you know, that's the way it goes. When you're 3D printing, whatever. So, I don't know when it was. It was like last night or a couple of nights ago. I was watching, I was going through some Virginia Piper videos, and he mentioned something about the squirrel nut zippers, and that just brought back a whole flood of emotions from my days as a young man, because when I was a much younger version of myself, the whole swing revival and third wave ska, that whole thing, that was what I was into. And so, boy, I've been hitting the Cherry Poppin' Daddies, the Big Bad Voodoo Daddies, Brian Setzer Orchestra, Squirrel Nut Zippers, Real Big Fish, the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. I've been hitting all that stuff up hard. And let me tell you, if you want music that just makes you happy, even if like the lyrics are very dark, you know, just the overall vibe of the song, even though the lyrics are very dark, it just makes you feel good just because of the style. You gotta check this stuff out, because it's kind of a shame that it fell out of style as fast as it did. And maybe that just shows that I have kind of an old soul, that I like that kind of music, but I really like that style of music. You know, I got this old record player right here, and about half of the LPs that I've got are just old jazz albums. And I'm actually a little bit sad to say I don't fire that thing up near enough. So, but anyway, needless to say, today was a very long day at work, made a little bit better by the inclusion of some upbeat brass music from the 90s. What a great era the 90s were. I mean, you couldn't get that new today. You know, I mean, I'm sure they make stuff. I think Brian Setzer is still putting stuff out. But it's not mainstream. You don't hear it on the radio. You don't hear it anywhere, because that's not the cool thing. And I don't think it ever will be again. It surprises me that it ever did make it mainstream. But I'm glad it did, because it came to my attention when I was a young man, and I really enjoyed it then, and I still really enjoy that kind of stuff. So, been hitting it hard. I'll probably be hitting that stuff hard for the coming like week or so. I tend to, when I go through music and what I listen to on a daily basis, it kind of goes in cycles. I'll go through a classical music phase, and then I'll go through a jazz phase, and then I'll go through like a rock phase, and then I'll go through, you know, it just kind of cycles through in phases. And right now I seem to be in the beginnings of a swing revival and ska phase, because I don't know, work is just really tough right now, and there's just something about that music that makes me feel good, even when things are really crappy, even when things don't seem like they could get much worse. And, you know, they don't seem like they could get much worse, and then today things got much worse. You know, whatever, it's alright. You just grin and bear it, and then you put your headphones back in, you get back on your computer, and you just keep going. That's all you can do. Just keep going. It's kind of funny that the project that I'm working on is so tough and so demanding that most everybody is like ticked off all the time or just really in a depressed mood, and people will call me and they comment, "Wow, you just seem so happy. Every time I talk to you, you just seem so happy." I've had more than one person remark to me about that on the phone, and I mean, I don't know. I'm not the kind of guy who likes to be a grump all the time. I mean, I can be a grump, don't get me wrong. Ask my wife. I can be a complete grump. However, when it comes to stuff at work, none of that stuff is worth getting grumpy. You just deal with it. I mean, if there's something that's not right, you can make sure that it gets taken care of without being a grump or without being kind of a jerk, because trust me, people respond way better if you're nice to them. I mean, if you're nice and respectful and jovial and happy and upbeat, even if you're telling them what they're doing probably is not right and might actually suck, if you tell them that in a tasteful, happy way, they're more apt to say, "You know what, yeah, this does really kind of suck. What do you got that we could do better?" So that's just a life lesson that I've learned over the years, that being a grump doesn't pay, especially at work. Just doesn't. And depending on your industry, like my industry, which is bridge engineering, it's a very small world. Like, you don't ever, never, for any reason, should you piss anybody off, ever. Because what goes around comes around, man, and I tell you what, you might treat somebody with just utter contempt, thinking you'll never see them again, and then 2-3 years later, oh, guess what? That person you pissed off is now working for the Department of Transportation, overseeing a project that you're working on, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh boy, I wish that I wouldn't have done that. I don't know. Just my 2 cents. Anyway, now that I've rambled on this complete and utter tangent, and I've probably let my coffee get cold, and I definitely have let my pipe go out, because this is the crap I let my pipe go out show. Well, yeah, coffee's cold. It's very cold. I will probably not be able to get this 3D printing related video posted tomorrow, because tomorrow's going to be another long day at work, and then I have a band practice tomorrow night, which means that I won't be getting home until I'll be leaving the house at about 6:30 a.m. and I will not be getting home until about 9 p.m. So I don't know. I really want to get this up because this is going to be a cool video. It's going to be a really cool video, I think. I think it's a cool video. Some of the things that I think are cool, probably you guys don't think are very cool, but hey, it's all about cringe, man. If I think it's really cool and nobody else does, that makes it a little bit cringy, and that makes me happy, because we're gonna embrace the cringe. So, till next time down here in Justin's Joint, you guys have a nice bowl of tobacco, and possibly even a cup of coffee to go with it. And in the meantime, we will catch you later.